Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel for your stimulus update for Thursday, August 5th. So while I began doing research on a stimulus update, I found YouTube videos with the headline that the Senate is going to reach a deal by the end of the week. And of course, I was extremely skeptical about this because the previous video that I just uploaded yesterday stated that, guess what? They don't know when a deal will be met, and they are far apart from reaching an agreement. So I was extremely skeptical. I went ahead and I did some research, and I found that yes, there is news out there stating that they're going to come to an agreement by the end of the week. It's a deadline, and I don't know where this deadline came from, but they have a deadline by the end of the week. But we have heard that before. We have heard that there was going to be a deadline by the end of last week. Last week has come and gone, and they still don't even have an agreement. And the Republicans don't have consensus in the Senate to even get a deal to move forward. So let's go straight into a video interview with Nancy Pelosi and MSNBC and see what she said when asked about a deal. Let's go straight into the video, guys.
That we're having. I'm confident that we will have an agreement. The timing of it, I can't say. And because I don't know.
Let me ask you.
It just depends.
Understood.
Right. So there we have it. In a very quick video clip, Nancy Pelosi, with an interview with MSNBC yesterday, stated that she's confident that they will reach an agreement, but the timing, she doesn't know when. Why? Because she doesn't know. So this deadline for the end of the week, I'm not sure how that will stick and if they will stick to it and be able to meet that deadline, but it doesn't seem like a very realistic deadline up to this point. And here's another thing. This came from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and this is what he said on yesterday afternoon. He said, the senators will certainly be in next week, delaying the start of their recess. So that signals to me a little bit that there may not be an agreement by the end of the week. But let's hope that there is an agreement by the end of the week. Today is Thursday. That means that there should be some sort of a deal coming out today, and hopefully the Senate will be able to vote upon it very quickly after that. If not today, then it'll have to come out tomorrow because there should be a deal by the end of the week. So it doesn't, to me, based on everything that I'm finding with Senator Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, both basically stating that there isn't an agreement yet. But hey, we will continue to follow what is happening. Another little piece of information that I should mention, and as it relates to the deal, I'm not sure how much weight it has. This is most likely a senator just giving his opinion. But Senator Roy Blunt stated that if there isn't a deal by Friday, there won't be a deal. I don't know. And he also stated basically that if there wasn't a deal, then the members of Congress might as well go home for their recess, because there won't be a deal in his opinion. I don't know. We have to continue to follow what's going to happen and see if there will truly be a deal. It's Thursday, so we will know by tomorrow if there will be a deal or not. So that means I may have a video coming out later in the evening, tomorrow evening, as opposed to coming out in the morning. With that, let's go back to Senator Nancy Pelosi and what she had to say more about concerning reaching a deal, the Republicans reaching a deal. So let's roll that clip.
We have a bill. We passed it nearly 3 months ago. They haven't passed anything. And as you've seen from the Majority Leader, Mr. McConnell, they don't have the votes. They have the votes for practically nothing. They haven't passed anything. They don't even have the votes within their own 51. In other words, I'm not talking about 60 votes. I'm saying, what is it that they, from strength, can bring to the floor? Last week, they brought something that was $200. Well, it was a non-starter, but even with that, it didn't have the full support of the Republicans in the United States Senate. So it's unlike other negotiations in terms of it's a matter of life and death, the lives of the American people, the livelihood of our families economically, and the life of our democracy. But is also a situation where they refuse to spend more money, by and large, in the Republican caucus. And again, that's a formula for further disaster.
So Nancy Pelosi stated something interesting right there. Of course, as we all know, the Senate, they haven't passed anything. And Nancy clearly highlighted, you know what, we passed our bill in the House, and that's the HEROES Act. The Senate hasn't done anything. They haven't come to an agreement. They haven't come to a consensus. And then she mentioned the $200 unemployment weekly boost that was presented. She's like, even when that was presented, they didn't have consensus among the Republican Party. So what is it that they are going to bring to the table? As of right now, it appears that she isn't clear. So getting to a deal by Friday really seems a little bit unrealistic. However, let me just state that it appears that they are beginning to move forward even more, slowly but surely, with their negotiations. And there's a little piece of news coming out from the White House office, which signals some movement. And this has to deal with the title within the thumbnail, actually, where Nancy Pelosi stated that there is no in between. So the White House offered a $400 per week unemployment boost, an unemployment enhancement boost. They offer $400 per week. That's up from the $200 that was offered. However, it's still not at the $600. And Nancy Pelosi's stance on that is that she is sticking firmly at the $600 level. Her response, there is no in between. There is no in between. And she stated that in an interview with PBS. So it looks like things are beginning to move more forward in the Democrats' direction with what they envision and what they are fighting for the American people. And I must say, kudos to Nancy Pelosi for continuing to fight. I'm not there in the negotiations. $400 to me sounds pretty good. You're getting somewhere. They're moving forward. You're kind of like in common ground area, but she's like, nope, $400, that's not enough. We need the full $600. So let me know down in the comments below if $400 is enough. If you think $400, that boost, is enough on top of the state's unemployment benefit for most people. Just give me your opinion. It doesn't have to be right. There's no right or wrong answer with that. And do you think that Nancy Pelosi should continue to push for $600 per week? And actually, let's calculate $600 per week and how much that amounts to in a hourly wage. So 600 divided by, let's say you're working 40 hours per week, that's $15 per hour. $15 per hour. Granted, I do understand that it adds up, especially with how many millions of Americans are on unemployment right now. And let's see what the Republicans are fighting for with $200, how much they think people are worth, really, right? So, oops, not on silent. $200 divided by 40 hours per week, $5 an hour. $5 an hour. And let's just talk about that unemployment benefit just for a little bit. The real problem is that the minimum wage in this country does not present a living wage for people. So the Republicans are stating, as I mentioned in my previous videos, that the unemployment boost is a disincentive for people to go back to work. You know, I argue that the disincentive to go back to work is the minimum wage. The minimum wage that needs to be fixed in this country. And in fact, Yale has done, and I mentioned in the previous video, Yale has done a study that basically stated that people who are on the unemployment benefits, enhanced benefits, they return to work at the same rate as people who were not receiving the unemployment enhanced benefits. So their argument doesn't really make much sense when you think about it, but it makes me wonder who's getting to the senators. There's always someone in a politician's ear like, hey, what are you doing? I'm not going to be able to get my workers back if you continue to pay them this money. And granted, honestly, if there's a cushion, let's say that it's passed through January. And again, the Yale study doesn't even agree with what I'm about to say. It can provide a disincentive for someone to look for a job if they know that they're going to be getting this unemployment boost all the way through to the end of January. But the Yale study doesn't support that. But I can understand why the leaders, or I'm assuming, the leaders of the corporations may have this fear. But that's enough about unemployment, where we're at. Pelosi looks like she isn't about to move on that $600 level, but at least it is beginning to move up in the price target.
Can he do this by executive order?
No. No, they can't do it by executive order.
Okay.
Do what? Do what by executive order? No. No.
Extend unemployment, cut the payroll tax. I don't know. We're not in a normal world, Madam
He
Speaker.
can't. Well, he may be able
Let me-
he may be able to extend the moratorium on evictions, but that unless you have some money with that, it's helpful, but it's not the whole thing. And again, you can't do the money without the Congress of the United States. The power of the purse begins in the House. Appropriations bill shall begin in the House of Representatives. So here we are.
And let's end the video on a lighter note. So the interviewer asks Nancy Pelosi, can President Trump get this done by an executive order? And Nancy Pelosi is like, no. Do what? Like what can he do with that? And it's pretty interesting. I find it a little comical because it looks like President Trump doesn't truly understand. Granted, I don't either. I'm learning through this and through his mistakes as well, how far an executive order can reach. It seems as if he thinks that he can do anything with an executive order. But Nancy Pelosi stated maybe he can extend the eviction moratorium. However, he still needs Congress to agree to spend the money. Without the money, nothing can happen. So it helps, but it's not the answer, and it can't happen the way that he thinks it will happen. And I think that's pretty. It's a light note to end on in this. So that's a follow-up to my previous video with President Trump trying to look for unilateral agreements so that he can bypass Congress. However, the way government is set up, it makes it a little bit hard to do things. And sometimes you wish that things can just happen and, okay, let's just bypass them while they're bickering back and forth and try to get something done. And he had really good intentions with this one. Unfortunately, it's not going to work. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I will see you in another video update. Again, tomorrow's video may not come in the morning. It may come in the evening. I'll see what happens with what's happening today with news in Congress. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Thank you all.